all good podcast listeners. Another episode of Cruzin with the Coaches is right around the corner. In this episode, we look at and have a discussion around what it is to think about others. And I might just go on a little rant about traffic. Stay tuned. This episode is coming up next. Welcome back from that short break, folks. We always appreciate you being here on another Wednesday with us. Co-host Julie Cruz, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Today is the first day of
25 days till Christmas.
You beat me. You beat me to it. I think you're a bit excited for that, maybe.
Okay. Christmas is
All
my
right.
favorite time of the year. Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, folks, just want to stop and take a moment and acknowledge the fact that if you were able to make it to December, well done.
Right.
Well done. Like, happy, proud of you, man. Like, the year we are trucking along. 2022 will be here before you know it. So, man, just, whatever you've had to do to get to this point, good job. Keep going. Well done.
Yep.
Because this stuff is not, we've had a whole new way of learning, right? We've had a whole new way of doing things, whole new way of, well, wait for it, a whole new way of connecting. So yeah, folks, that's the teaser. We're going to talk about so we were talking about this pre-show, and we're like, man, what has happened with people's ability to connect?
Right.
Is it, and literally, I mean, I know we were kind of joking when we're calling it like COVID brain, but there's something to be said for that, because, man, whatever has gone on during the pandemic, there's those of us who
have kept it moving.
Yeah, like kept it, like, okay, so we can't necessarily see somebody, but it's a phone call, it's a text, email, video call, whatever.
Right.
We're in the groove, right? Man, oh, there's just certain people. You know what? I'm gonna tell a story.
Okay, tell us a story.
I'm gonna tell a story, and if the listeners are like, "Yeah, we always tell stories." Okay. So walk with me here. Walk with me.
I was gonna say, when aren't there stories?
Right, exactly. But over the last couple months, I've done a little bit more traveling than usual. So driving longer distances, or even driving around here in the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I think has gone on with the lack of people being able to connect to other people, it shows up like traffic is the microcosm of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So it never fails. Like I driven back to Ohio a couple months ago, and all right, like you're going along at a good clip, and everybody's kind of going with the flow of traffic, right?
Mm-hmm.
We understand that.
Yeah.
And then out
90,
of the blue,
90 mile per hour, someone, right?
Yeah, buzzes past you. And then they're weaving in and out of traffic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And inevitably, they are the ones that cause the slowdown when we get into a construction zone, or, God forbid, they get into an accident, whatever. And it's like there is a lack of connection. Again, my interpretation, y'all, but a lack of connection, because for whatever is going on with that person, they feel that wherever they're going, whatever they're doing, is the sole thing that is important, not the safety of everyone else on the road with them,
right?
Or that the rest of us have somewhere we'd like to go safely, and some of us travel with the faster flow of traffic than usual. I'm
Right.
not saying anything, but man, you get that 100 mile an hour, and they're not a cop car going to get somebody,
Mhm. Mhm.
or here in the city, right? Uh, it's amazing to me, and it's not even like traffic jams, right? But tell me if this is not a good illustration of thinking about yourself and not other people.
Okay.
Where the traffic light, you're about 3 or 4 cars from the light,
Okay.
and you can almost time it because you can kind of see the opposite light going yellow, right?
Okay. Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, you can see, you can time it that your light is about to go yellow,
Yeah, because it's slowing down.
right? and
Yeah.
and there's just enough space for maybe 2 cars to go through the intersection,
Mhm.
and you're the third car.
Right. So
So
you time it and you allow them to go, correct?
correct, and
And you
you are
stay
gonna
behind,
and you're gonna catch the next light.
and then you hear the honk, right? Right? Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely, right. That's one scenario. Or what you get is when you're waiting at the light, right? You're
Mhm.
waiting, and you see exactly the same scenario of the people crossing your intersection, and inevitably that person thinks, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make this light.
Right.
And yet now they're sitting in the intersection, and nobody can go
Right. Right.
because
Right.
there's not enough room for them to fit where they were going across the intersection. And yet the car behind them was like, oh, well, if they're going to go, I'm going to go too.
Mhm. Mhm.
So now the intersection is blocked, and no one can go. and and inevitably it's either like some kind of delivery truck also, or there's
All
all
right,
kind of
don't let me get on Amazon.
yeah, haven't haven't seen the Amazon deliveries getting away.
Oh, I love me
But
some Amazon, but whoa, those drivers.
oh,
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, man. So, like, to me, that illustrates the lack of connection, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That it and it could be at 8 in the morning, it could be at 5 in the afternoon, it could be at 12:30, right, lunchtime. Inevitably, that always happens, and I want to take a moment to really like dig into that a bit. Like,
Well,
if
I
oh,
I
go ahead.
hate I,
Yeah.
I hate to break your heart,
Uh
okay?
oh. Uh
But
oh.
we're going into the holiday season where the traffic's only going to get worse, especially
Oh.
by the malls.
Oh. Don't I know? Don't I know?
So, I mean, folks are
Don't
getting,
I know?
we're talking, you said earlier about, COVID brain, but it's holiday
Mm.
brain too, because then it
Oh.
becomes the whole, okay, I'm the only person going to the mall who
Mm.
has to purchase this item at this particular store, and I have to get it right now, the second,
Oh.
you know?
Oh. Oh.
So
It's
it's
gonna be
it's
like
only
times
gonna get
10.
worse.
Times 10. Oh man. And like, folks, the truly the point I'm trying to make about that is, if you stopped and take a second to think about others, right? Like, think beyond yourself. That's how you can kind of reconnect. And
Right.
if more people thought beyond themselves, it's like, oh, you know what? I bet they're in a rush too. Or I bet, like you said, they're going to the mall to get this thing. They're going to someone's house. They're like, that's what we're all kind of doing.
Mhm.
If we work collectively to think about each other, that is how you can kind of reconnect to having some empathy and actually thinking about your fellow humans.
Right.
Or you could be listening to this and just say, well, Lee's just salty about traffic.
I know, I was like, "Wait, it sounds like you had a really bad experience."
Yeah. I gotta be honest, and I gotta share this. I was driving my daughter to school,
Okay.
and I was like, that's why I like riding my bike. She was like, oh, why?
Yeah.
I was like, because I don't get caught in this.
So
I
was
don't
it
get
the
stuck in
school
traffic.
traffic with the dropping off of the kids and stuff, or was it just general?
No, there's one section actually, and unfortunately, like there's no cure for. They actually tried. So it's a several busy streets, right? But this is like one of the busier, I guess, call it a north-south street, right?
Mhm.
Connects different areas of the city. And the school, there's a school, and now we're passing. This isn't even her school, but the school's on the side. Okay,
Okay.
they ended up making the road a two lane, so one lane of traffic each way, and the lanes that they took over are either for parking or they created like a curb drop off lane for the school, right?
Okay. Okay.
I'm like brilliant. That's great. Why everyone doesn't take advantage of that, I don't know. So you will have three or four cars pull into the curb lane, drop off. Cool, great, because then traffic, and they can literally like merge back into traffic, right? No big deal. You will have cars coming the opposite way, stop traffic to let their students out, and it must be a thing that's been approved because like the cop that's on duty will actually stop traffic to let that happen. And I'm like, oh, this is not the best way to do this.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or you have those who are going the same way as the curb lane but refuse to get in the curb lane and stop and let their students out. And I'm like, I don't understand that either. So I again, like in the grand scheme of things, it's taking an extra 5-10 minutes out of me dropping her off, so it's not a big deal. But
Okay.
it's one of those things like it amazes me. Like, okay, they built a curb lane so that it could be safer to drop
Mhm.
the kids off going to school, right?
Right. Right.
Take advantage of it. Why are you thinking only about what you have to do? And all right, well, I'm gonna stop here and let you get out now. Like mm, mm. I promise, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Is she at a large school? Is it like a lot of students all at the same time, or like
I think yeah, because a lot of times drop offs happen between call it I don't know 8 and 8:30, something like
okay.
that.
Okay.
And again, like I said, this is on our way. This isn't even her school, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and I figured out a great way. Like I will drop her off in the same block because her school is also on one of the busiest streets in the morning.
Okay.
So I will be on a side street, which happens to be the block that the school is in. So
Mhm.
that way, and there's no traffic there. So I have found a good route to get to the side street, right?
Okay.
And drop her off. That way she can walk without having to cross any streets. Done deal. You know?
Okay. Cool.
And taking that example, not only did I think about her and being safer instead of having to cross this busy street, even with a crossing guard, right?
Mhm.
Because there are people who have ignored the crossing guard and buzzed through. I'm like, oh boy, that's an accident waiting to happen. But but I thought about other people, right? I thought about the traffic that I could potentially stop on the busy street.
Mhm.
And I was like, let me find, I know there's a better way. I know so getting to that side street, and I'm not blocking anybody's driveway. I'm not holding up traffic, but that was my thought process.
Okay. Okay.
So just taking a moment to put everything in perspective for me and think about what was safer for dropping her off, what was safer for traffic in general, what was safer for my blood pressure.
What was safer for my mental health?
You know, and that allows for like a peaceful drop off, except for these random other schools that we kind of have to pass through.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that's my story, folks. That's traffic. Traffic is clearly a microcosm of the lack of empathy and connection that people have, and I think COVID has just kind of amplified that. It's just kind of made
Right.
it worse. Oh man. Anything you'd like to add to my traffic story, there, Julie?
I don't really have a traffic story. I would have to say, as we were just talking about the whole mall thing, like you said, the holidays, it only gets worse. It only
Oh man.
becomes harder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be 10 times. I will play Christmas music. I will, be I will have empathy. On my brain. I will have empathy.
That was a good plan.
Oh man. Well, folks, we are going to take a quick break, and after the break, we'll come back and discuss some more things about the connecting with people and having some empathy, especially over the holidays. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, this is Lee Grigsby here, health and life coach and founder of Live All Good Coaching. I'll be on the air with Podcast Business News Network, talking about the various things around health and wellness and mental health. Also talking about how mindset is critical to achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You can reach me at liveallgood, the number 44, at gmail.com, or you can go to my website, liveallgood.com, and fill out the contact form and reach me there. Once again, that's liveallgood.com. Go to the About section, fill out the contact form, or you can reach me at liveallgood, the number 44, at gmail.com. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back from that short break. Um, I've brought my blood pressure down from having thought about the traffic story I was sharing
You are no
before.
longer unhinged.
I have reeled it back in. I'm no longer upset about that. So we can move on with the rest of the show.
So
Oh
funny.
man. But so what we were really talking about is connection, or
Right.
that illustrated like the lack of connection, right?
Right.
But since we've hit December, and a lot of people will be exchanging gifts, Julie mentioned in 25 days. So
Yep.
the countdown has begun.
Yes, it has.
But I think one important thing that you had mentioned in the break, actually, before we came back, was about gift giving, right?
Right.
A lot of people. This is going to really tie into how to actually reconnect with people.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when gifts are exchanged and people give them, they can be kind of impersonal, and they can kind of be what you as the gift giver thinks is best, or what you like for that,
For that person.
right?
Hmm.
And so why don't you share what you think, Julie, would be a better idea for like a connection purpose, a better idea for the gift giver.
Well, like I would even say, like for me, like I
Mhm,
know my sister, yes, she loves to read books. I know my brother-in-law loves to read books. But it's
mhm,
also, like, okay, like, do I want to get them a coffee mug and a book? Because
mhm,
that's what they like to do.
mhm,
No. Like, instead, I mean, I've gone as far as to, yes, I will buy the gift card, which I know everyone's like, oh my God, not the gift card. But no, I will buy them a gift card where it's a dinner and a movie, and
mhm,
then I offer to watch their kids. So
mhm,
whatever night you choose to do it, I will be there, you
mhm,
know? And
mhm,
it's just the gift of understanding that they as a couple, a new couple with two brand new kids, like they need to, have that opportunity to connect, just the two of them. And so
mhm.
just understanding, like putting a little bit more thought into it. Like, yeah, sure, I can get them both books. I can get them,
Right. And
Amazon cards and walk
and those
away.
things, and you might go ahead and get the Amazon card for them to get some books later on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
I like that, putting the thought into it about something that is useful for them, you know?
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. Or even along those same lines, right? putting thought into who you're getting the gift for and what they would like. So
Mhm.
again, like you were saying, they like books, right?
Right.
So not necessarily sticking to that, but if someone there was somebody that mentioned something, um, like they liked one of my hats. They're like, "Oh man, you gotta it like one of my Kango hats." So now I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, I know what I'm get. Actually,
Yeah, I
my
know what to get that person. Like, how cool would
exactly,
that be?
exactly, and
Right.
and I'm like, oh, so not only did they like that, but they okay, cool. Let me kind of think of what kind of style they have, what kind of goes with what they would wear. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not something for me; it's something for them, and I think that's what makes that personal connection even better. You know,
Right. Right.
so that I like that being able to
Yeah.
put a little bit of thought into that and really we've kind of mentioned this before even with like communication or anything, knowing your audience, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it's kind of knowing the person again, who you're getting a gift for, knowing what they like, knowing what's going to be useful for them, right?
Right. Right.
if if it you talked about your sister as and her husband as a new couple, yeah, they with new kids,
Mhm.
they need some time.
Right. Exactly.
you
They
know
appreciate it. They definitely
right,
do.
right, because it's something that they're probably not going to think about, or they're purposely, or they're unintentionally not thinking about. Oh yeah, when's the last time we had a movie night, just the two of us?
Mhm.
So that is something that's definitely intentional on your part.
Yeah. Yeah. So like last year, obviously we did the whole Zoom thing, and it
Hmm.
was like, well, yeah, my dad came down and he dropped off our gifts and we gave him the gifts that we had. But like
Hmm.
I was like, well, since we're doing Zoom, my thought was, let's do something interactive. So I got
Yeah.
everybody lotto tickets, so we're
Oh,
all
nice.
sitting
And then it's scratching them off all at the same
yeah,
time. Nice.
yeah. So we had different levels and we were all doing them all at the same I mean, nobody walked away millionaire or anything, but I mean, it was fun. You're like, "What'd you get?" "No, I didn't get," like it was
Right.
cool to make it more of an interactive moment.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. It was something, yeah, because that's something more than just okay. What's going on with you? What's going on with you?
Right,
That
and
was
then the
something that
awkward
everybody
silence.
shared. Right. Right. Well, I didn't really want to be on this call. How about that? No, no, no.
Yeah,
But it's glad that seeing that's something that's actually a memory and a moment that everybody's going to remember.
right, right,
Like, man, remember when we all scratched off the lottery tickets and nobody won?
right?
Yeah, we're like, well, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, thank
Yeah, thanks for the reminder.
you. Right, right, right. Like, oh, check your stocking.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, I was just like when you are purchasing and make thoughts like think about that. Like, okay, so we're doing it via Zoom. How do we do it so that it's interactive and it's not just,
Hmm.
or just in that alone, the fact that he came and he brought his gifts and we exchanged and then, we all made sure we opened them together via
Yeah,
Zoom.
absolutely. Right, right. Even opening that, I'll add to that. Right, that reminds me of something that happened at work last year. Um, it was, the holiday party clearly was canceled and not quite the same. So it was via Zoom. But what they did was, I believe it was the head of the news department had put together um, like a little competition, right?
Okay.
So the different departments, unfortunately, it's well, yeah, gotta tell another story, folks. Sorry, gotta tell another one. But this one will be quick. So had purchased kazoos, right? And so there was two different departments that were gonna kind of battle it out with, I guess, like name that tune, right?
Mhm.
Playing the tune with kazoos. Well,
Okay.
unfortunately, I was one of the team leaders for the kazoo playing, and unfortunately, the kazoo that got shipped broke to me. So first of all, how does a kazoo even break, right?
Okay.
But it was like the little film, I guess, that
It
makes the
fell off
buzzing.
the part that
Yeah,
vibrates. Mhm.
yeah. So broken kazoo. Where do you find a kazoo with like 3 days to go? You don't, right? So what do you find instead? the little party horns that
Oh, yeah.
you
That
blow
you
for,
blow out.
yeah, for New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Found those, and those just kind of substituted. So it reminded me of that when you were talking about the interactive part, because that's what it was, right? We were, blowing the horn, trying to do these tunes, playing the kazoo, and everybody on the call is like cracking up and laughing and trying to guess, and all the wrong guesses because none of this sounds like music anyway.
Right,
but
right.
but it was super interactive, right? And that was something thoughtful that was done for everyone else.
Yeah,
That was a great connection, and that's really what we're talking about, right?
yeah, yeah.
How do you reconnect? How do you show empathy for, if you still happen to have a Zoom call for the holidays, right?
Mhm.
Well, yeah, man. There's so many ways to connect, and there's so many ways to show people that you do care, and so many ways to be empathetic.
Right, right.
But you might have to put a little bit of thought into it, and that's
I
okay.
was gonna say the key is intention. You
Yeah,
have to intentionally try to
absolutely.
make that connection.
Yep, yep. Or you can whiz by at 100 miles an hour. And
Oh, here we go.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You could do that, and then you miss the connect,
Yeah,
and you wish you would have slowed down. You know,
yeah. Right, right. No,
I
it's so
promise
true
no more
though.
traffic,
Yeah.
man. No more.
But it's so true. You just, letting time pass you by.
Hmm.
It's so important to savor the moments. It really
Yep,
is.
yep. And that's, I think, like you said, intention, and then slowing down to really enjoy it. You know,
Mhm.
instead of just, all right, cool, let's get past December, let's get past January, let's get back to, well, no, like take that moment,
Right. Right.
slow down and appreciate it, acknowledge it for what it is. So yeah,
Yep. Yep.
awesome, man. Well, any thoughts you want to leave our listeners with about connection and being intentional? You know.
I would say to take some time and think about it. You go through and you write your Christmas list, right? You know who you're buying for.
Hmm.
And when you're doing that, actually really put some thought into the person. Just because you've got a list of, let's say, 12 people doesn't mean you have to knock it out in an afternoon. You know,
Hmm.
look at the gifts, look at the names and really think about like, what would it be that I would give this person that they will feel like it is, a connection from me to them.
Mm, I like that. I like that. We will leave it at that. That's the mic drop. Take your time, folks, and think about it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Well, another Wednesday has come and gone, and we appreciate you all spending a little bit of time with us. We definitely have fun spending our time with you. You can catch the Cruising with the Coaches on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We are now on Amazon, and it doesn't take a delivery driver to send it. It's digital, so you can listen to it.
No
Uh,
driving necessary.
that's right. That's right. No driving necessary.
Oh, it's so funny.
But we definitely appreciate your time, folks, and we hope that we've allowed you to laugh, have some good moments, but also brought some value to you as well with how to reconnect and have empathy for our fellow humans. That's really what we need. So, especially
Definitely.
especially in these days and times, right?
Yep. Yep.
Cool. Well, folks, until next time, it's been Cruising with the Coaches, a conversation with Julie and Lee. We will see you in a couple weeks.